All right, let's talk about one of the biggest things that trips people up when they're learning French, the verbs. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It is way easier than you've been told. So let's just dive right in.
So let me just ask you this. What if you could learn how to use not just a few, but literally thousands of French verbs, like right now, in the next couple of minutes?
No, really, I'm not kidding. You absolutely can. Because the key isn't to memorize a bunch of boring charts. The secret is learning just one simple pattern that unlocks a huge, huge part of the French language. Now, to get a handle on that pattern, we first have to talk about something called conjugation. And don't worry, it sounds way more complicated than it actually is. Let's break down what it is and why it's so important. All verb conjugation means is changing a verb to match who is doing the action. The funny thing is, you already do this all the time in English without even thinking twice about it. For instance, you say, I like, but then you automatically change it to he likes. You would never ever say we likes, right? It just sounds completely wrong. Your brain just does it. That's all conjugation is. And that's the key takeaway here. Getting a verb ending wrong in French, it's basically the exact same thing as saying we likes in English. It's a dead giveaway that something's not quite right. So nailing that ending is, well, pretty crucial. So how do we get it right every single time for this huge group of French verbs? Well, I like to think of it as a super simple 3-step recipe. And once you know this recipe, you can use it on over 90% of all verbs in French. Yeah, really. Okay, here's the whole thing. Step 1, figure out who's doing the action. That's your subject. Step 2, take the verb, find the letters ER at the end, and just chop them off. What's left over is what we call the stem. And finally, step 3, just add the right ending onto that stem. That's it. That's the entire process. And these right here, these are the only endings you need to know. This is your cheat sheet. If you're saying I or je, you add an E. If you're saying we or nous, you add an ons. You get the idea. These are the secret ingredients to our recipe. All right, enough with the theory. Let's actually put this recipe to work and cook up our first verb. You're about to see just how easy and powerful this is. Okay, let's take a really common verb, parler, which means to speak. And let's say we want to say we speak. So our subject is nous, which means we. Okay, so following our recipe, step 1, we take parler and we chop off that ER at the end. That leaves us with our stem, P-A-R-L, parle. Easy enough? And now for the final step, we just look at our little cheat sheet, find the ending that goes with nous, which is ons, and we stick it on the end of our stem. And voila, nous parlons. We speak. See? You just did it. You conjugated a French verb. But here's the really cool part. That exact same 3-step recipe works for all of these verbs you see on the screen, and literally thousands more. So now you can say j'aime, I like, or vous dansez, you dance, nous jouons, we play, ils travaillent, they work. Your French vocabulary just completely exploded. Okay, awesome. But what if you want to say you don't do something? Well, if conjugating is a recipe, making a sentence negative is kind of like making a sandwich. Seriously, it's another super simple pattern. All you have to do is take your verb, the one you just conjugated perfectly, and you just wrap it with 2 little words. You put ne before the verb and pas after the verb. That's it. Ne, verb, pas. I call it the negative sandwich. So let's start with a sentence we already know how to say. Nous mangeons. We eat. Simple, positive. Now, to make it negative, we just build our sandwich. We put ne before mangeons and pas after it. Nous ne mangeons pas. We do not eat. It's that simple, and it works every single time. So let's zoom out and put this all together. You might be thinking this is just a neat little grammar trick, but what you've actually learned is the basic, fundamental rhythm of everyday French. I mean, just look at this short text describing someone's typical day. All of a sudden, how many words can you recognize? You've got je mange, I eat, j'écoute, I listen, nous regardons, we watch, nous jouons, we play, je travaille, I work. A minute ago, this might have looked like a wall of foreign text. Now, it's full of words you totally get. This pattern, it's everywhere. So you see, you didn't just learn a grammar rule today. You learned the master key to like the vast majority of verbs in the entire French language. So I guess the only question left is, what are you going to say first?